This is the last lesson on a database for our band database, and today we're going to look at reports and Mailmerge. So before we get on with the database work, let's just look at our knowledge recall. The 4 questions you need to ask this week are: what is a search from a database called? So we've done some searches and they've got a specific name. What data type is it when you have true and false? So you name the data type for that. And then thinking from previous units, when we were looking at Python, where is index 1 in an array? So you need to say, where is the location of index 1 in an array? And thinking back right to the start of the year, what type of compression restores data completely when the image is opened? So it goes back to its original data. So you can pause the video and complete those 4 questions. Hopefully you've got the answers. Just go back a stage. Hopefully we've just got the answers for a query is a search of information on a database. Boolean is a data type where we have true or false or on or off, so where it's one value or another, so that's Boolean. And if we think of arrays, remember that the first item, so in the index, the first item is 0. So item 1 is therefore the second item in the array, because it always starts at 0. And it's lossless compression. It's lossless when it gets restored back to its full original quality. So that's lossless. It doesn't lose anything, so it's lossless. So moving on with databases. This week we're going to look at reports, how they're used to display information from a database. So we're going to find a way to report and show information in a much clearer way than just from a table of information. So we can see here that we've got a table. This is the results of the people who went to the Birmingham gig. We can see that they've all gone to Birmingham, and we've got the information for those people. And that's one way to display the information. But a better way is to show a report like this, and then you can design your report how you want it to look and complete the work that way. So I'm going to show you how to make a report in Access. So we know that reports are a good way of displaying information, and there is a help sheet available if you need that, or you can watch the demonstration here. I'm now going to show you how to create the report that we need to do, but we first need to make a query. So we're looking for all the people that went to the Birmingham gig. So what I'm going to do is bring in my table, and we've got all the fans in the fans table. And just remember, when you open up your table, it will be blank, so you have to click on the tables. Fans at gig, so these are all the fans that went to the different gigs. Close that one as well. And the gig venue table. Now this is important because I'm going to want to know all the people that went to the Birmingham gig at the NEC. So Birmingham is what I'm going to look for. Now I need to remember that the gig ID is number 4. So I'll come back to that in a moment. So first of all I need to make the query. So create, query design. And here I'm going to add all 3 tables that I've got. My fans table, fans at gig, and gig venue table, and close those. Now these are related tables. We made this relationship with our tables previously. So I can bring in the fan's first name, I can drag that in, and their surname. And I'm also going to want to know where they live. This is the key important bit for later. So I'm going to drag in their address 1 into the level with the field, the city that they live in, and their postcode. So all that information has been dragged in. I also need to drag in the gig ID for my fans at gig table. And to make sure my queries work properly from the gig venue table, I'm just going to drag in the city that the gig is in and the venue name. So that information has all been brought in. Now I know that the gig ID is number 4. So it's number 4 that I'm looking for, and that is Birmingham. Birmingham NEC. So when I run this query, it brings up all the people that went to the Birmingham gig, and this is the information about the name, their surname, and where they live. So I can claim and save this query here. So I'm just going to click save, and I'm going to save this one as Birmingham gig. and that will appear when I click OK on the left hand side as my Birmingham gig. So I can close this query now, and now I can make the report that I want. I can double click on my Birmingham gig and it's going to bring up the answers I want, but I need a nice way to show this information. If you haven't got a Birmingham gig and you're struggling to make the related query, then use one of your other queries, a simpler query for the letter that we're going to produce soon. So I'm just going to close this bit down, and now I'm going to make my report. So I'm going to click on the information we want. I'm just going to bring this here. So we've created the query to find these fans and we've saved it, and then we're creating the report to find these fans' names and addresses only. So what I'm going to look at is create, and I'm going to report wizard. So here it is, report wizard. I'll click that, and I'm looking for, in this drop down box, my query for Birmingham gig. So I can choose that one. It has to be a query that we're doing this on. And then I need to decide what information I want to be in my report. So I'm going to have the person's first name, I'm going to have the surname, I'm going to have their address, and then I'm also going to have their city that they live in and their postcode. And I don't need to show the gig ID because it's all going to be Birmingham, and I don't need to show any of this information. The gig venue I know is Birmingham and the venue name is Birmingham, so I can just click OK here. So I'm just bringing up the information that I need and click next, and then I can decide what style I want. I can just click finish on this, and it brings my report together looking like this. So it's a Birmingham gig, and this is all the information. I can close my print preview, and from now I can start editing my report how I wish it to look. So I've got a few decisions here. I can right click fill back color, and I can choose what color. I mean, for blue screen of death, I think I'm going to go blue with everything. I can right click here, fill back color, and make this blue. And when I change my view from design view to the actual view, we can start to see how my report is looking. I can go back into the design view, and I might want these boxes here, or the background color, to also be blue. And all these boxes I might make stand out a little bit more. Fill back color, and just make these maybe orange, just so they stand out. And this is your choice. I'll show you two so you can see what it's going to look like without the rest done. If I just change the view again, we can see it's starting to take shape. I can change my title, and we might not want the date or the page number at the bottom. So if we don't want the date, let's go back into the design view. So in home, design view, I can just choose to select this box and delete it. This is the date and this is the page number. So I'm just going to delete these bits. And Birmingham gig, these are the people that went, people who visited. So that's what we've got as a title. That information makes sense now, and again we can change the writing colour in here. We can just click on home. Once we select our writing, we can choose how we want this information to display, and I want it to stand out, so I'm going to have white on the blue background. And probably also, because it's a big title, I want to make this bold and stand out a bit more. So again, I can change my view, have a look what it's looking like. We can see the writing's cut off. Again, I can go back into my design view and just make this box a little bit bigger to accommodate that. I could also add an image back in here as well. Insert image, I can add my blue screen of death image in. So we're starting to develop a form that looks better, has the information in it we want, and is an easier way to read the information. And although I've not finished the design of mine, I can just save it, and it's then saved as Birmingham gig in the reports. So that's how to create a report for the information in a query. So that's one section down. I'm just going to close this down now, leave my database open, and just a reminder that to format your report, I'd like you to add colour, add an image, and improve the title. So that's the section there on a report, which you can pause the video and have a go at before the next section. So the next section is an extension task where you're going to create a letter that's a mail merge from information. So you're going to create a letter for all the people in that report, so all the fans that went to the Birmingham gig, thanking them for coming to the last gig and then inviting them to the next gig. And you're also going to encourage them to come along to the next gig by giving them a free t-shirt. So what I've got here is the start of a letter. Just make this a little bit bigger so we can see it. So we've got a letter here where you can write a similar letter. We've got, dear whoever, Blue Screen of Death was really pleased that you attended the gig in Birmingham and hope that you enjoy the gig as much as they enjoyed performing at it. The band wanted you to know about their next gig in Liverpool and wanted to let you know that if you book a ticket you will receive a free t-shirt at the gig. So what we need their address in here so we know who to send it to, and we also need their name. And I'm going to show you how to get this information from the database. So what you do is you click on mailings and you select, or you can start a mail merge, and we've got a letter. Now we've already got the letter, so we can use the step-by-step mail merge wizard. And what we're going to do is click next to continue. We're going to use the current document. We're going to select next and now choose the select recipients, and this is where we're going to look for our database. So we've written our letter, and then we need to choose who the people are. So I'm going to go to my documents and find my Blue Screen of Death database that we've been using. So I've selected my Blue Screen of Death database and I've got to choose the right information. So I want the people from the Birmingham gig from my report, from my query. So I've clicked that and clicked OK. And it's just asking me, is this the information I want? It is. So again, I can click OK. And now what I'm doing is I can insert a merge field. So here I've got the person's full name. So I can have their first name, put a space in, insert merge field, surname. Press enter. Now I'm also going to put in their address 1, their city they live in, press enter each time, and their postcode. And again, where I've got dear, I've got a space and I can just put in their first name. So now I can finish and merge my data. So what this is going to do is put the information in from my database into my letter. So I click finish and merge, and I want to edit individual documents. And I'm going to merge all my records. So I click OK. And what it should do is it creates the letter. So this was the first person in the database, and it's put in their name, their address, and their name in here. I can then scroll down and it'll find the next record in my database. I've just gone through that one. And then if I keep scrolling down, I can find the next person. So that is a mail merge letter, saving you the time of having to find all the addresses and all the names and write to each person individually. So you can create a mail merge for all the people that went to the Birmingham gig and invite them to the next gig and offer them a free t-shirt if they arrive. So there's quite a lot of work in there today. You need to make sure that you create the report, save the report, show evidence of your report in your e-portfolio, and then create your mail merge letter inviting people to the next gig, and again showing evidence of that in your e-portfolio.